Hello there, Cobra Knope here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to finally be reviewing the Maul Shadow Lord finale. Now this was a pretty exhilarating finale, especially for a season 1. The stakes are high and it was pretty tense not knowing who was actually going to make it out other than Maul himself. And we know the Inquisitors are going to survive, so none of the new characters were safe really. So jumping into chapter 9, Dryden Voss makes contact with Maul and proposes a deal of getting Maul and his gang off-world safely, but in doing so Maul must take out the current Crimson Dawn leader. Maul agrees to the deal. I mean, he doesn't really have much choice. This is the perfect opportunity for him, and I doubt it'll be difficult for Maul to take out the Crimson Dawn leader. He's already took out the leader of the Pikes, and he probably just sees it as an opportunity. I mean, we know he's going to become the leader of Crimson Dawn at some point, so Maul's always calculating, and I mean, we've seen it throughout the series, but we see it a lot in these 2 episodes. So in order to safely get to the rendezvous point, he proposes an alliance with the heroes, knowing that Captain Lawson would know the city better than anyone, as obviously they want to avoid any Imperial detection. He does this through some sort of force connection with Devon, but Master Daki confirms that he was only able to do that because of the connection they already had. So obviously the heroes are pretty wary working with Maul. I mean, Two Boots humorously says that Maul just does not look like someone who is trustworthy, which I mean, shouldn't really be judging people by how they look, but I suppose he does look angry all the time. So this uneasy alliance adds to the tension of the episode as well, as there's little hints that Maul will betray them at some point. Or at least that's the idea going about the heroes' minds as well. And on top of that, we see snippets of the Inquisitors following their path, almost like they're following their scent or something. So we know the Inquisitors are always going to be on their track. Now it's not very long until they come across the Empire. The heroes are willing to wait it out. Obviously Master Daki, being a Jedi Master, mentions patience, but more rightfully points out that they need to get to this rendezvous on time or they're screwed pretty much, which leads into a pretty cool scene where Maul just single-handedly takes on the Stormtroopers and the ATAC. So it's a pretty badass scene of Maul, but it's also quite amusing as well because Devon's told them there's no way they can take on the whole Empire. But I mean, if Maul was in his prime, who knows, he could take on a whole lot of them, that's for sure. So after a bit of sneaking around, they all get to the point where they're underground and they're trapped. I mean, it's a pretty cool setting. There's acid all over the floor and the ceiling is too low for the Jedi to make the jump to the other side where they need to go. Now the rest of the episode is just pure action for like the next 10 minutes, but it was entertaining all throughout. The lightsaber fights just look amazing, I've said it before. There's just that one frame where all the lightsaber users clash at the same time, but you can see the brief teamwork between Devon, Master Daki and Maul, and how completely in sync they are, even just for a moment. It just adds tension knowing that more of the Empire are coming and that they're running out of time to get to their rendezvous point. You've also got the risk of them not all making it to the other side because they can only really go 2 at a time using the skiff that they found. We see a cool last stand from one of the Knight brothers, but again, I just didn't really feel anything for the character. I said it last review, but I really wish we knew more about these Knight brothers. Like, they're clearly dedicated to Maul's cause. They both died through sacrifice. I mean, this one being a bit more brutal, he throws himself onto a squad of Stormtroopers and straight into the acid. Like, that is pure dedication and we don't even know what for. Like, yeah, Maul's a fellow Knight brother, but apart from that, we know nothing about this allegiance really. But it's a cool one last stand nonetheless. Now, when it comes to Maul, if we didn't know where his character was heading to, if he hadn't appeared in Rebels, I would genuinely begin to question whether this is the start of a redemption arc for him, because Maul ends up being the last one fighting on that side of the river of acid, and he even allows Master Daki to go first, which I found pretty wholesome, to be honest. I mean, the Sith Lord doing that. But again, because Maul's so calculative all the time, this could have just been a work of manipulation to gain Devon's trust, or maybe even just to gain Daki's trust a little bit, just so he could catch him off guard if it comes to that. Maul obviously escapes in the end, and I don't know if this was done purposefully, but his lightsaber stance, because he ends up pulling apart his double-bladed lightsaber so he can dual wield. I don't know if that was a reference to Starkiller at all, or I'm just making connections that aren't there. I mean, I suppose most people associate that stance with Ahsoka, especially the way it turns. I'm sure there's a shot of Ahsoka doing exactly that, but with Starkiller and Maul both being voiced by Sam Witwer, don't know, maybe it was. The episode episode is very cool ending. We're now in a new setting where it's kind of foggy, we're in some sort of forest. Rook scouts ahead and then claims there's something in there, whilst then being force pulled back. And then this of course reveals Vader himself. Now unfortunately there were posters leaked. I can't remember if it was even before the show started, it was very early on. The leaked posters showed Dryden Voss, Vader, and it spoils something for the last episode as well, another poster, which was a shame. But what surprised me here was that we got him at the end of the first part of the finale, because I was just expecting him to appear at the very end. So that was somewhat of a nice surprise for me, at least. Yeah, I've seen this was also a reference to the cover of Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which I think was like the first Star Wars novel. It kind of worked as a sequel to A New Hope, and that cover is just sick, I think. So it's nice that they referenced that. Now going into the last episode, again, this is all very action heavy, but it's still filled with some character moments, so it didn't feel overkill or anything. Now Vader in this is pretty terrifying, and instantly you see the main characters kind of slow down. Now at first it kind of bugged me because Vader's very slow, and these guys are, especially Maul and Devin, are a lot more acrobatic, and I've been going at quite a quick speed in these duels so far, but I imagine the case is that Vader slows them down through fear, and that's why he's able to take his time swinging his lightsaber whilst these three people are trying their very hardest to get a hit on him, but to no avail. Now I feel like Vader is used pretty well in canon. I've not seen much of Legends, so I imagine he's like properly overpowered and whatnot. Now I think they do a good balance with him. We know he's an unstoppable force, so I think when it comes to the characters opposing him, it's more a case of can they escape or not, rather than can they beat him. And then you see the characters slowly get more tired or more injured as Vader pursues them for the whole episode. In between all this, the rest of the remaining cast, which at this point is Lutey, Captain Lawson, Riley and Two Boots, they're running off ahead to the rendezvous point whilst the others attempt to handle Vader. Now I really liked the dynamic between Maul, Devin and Master Daki. It felt very much like Devin had an angel and a devil on her shoulders as they're both ushering their teachings to Devin. Because when it comes to Vader, obviously they have to work together and they have to be in sync. In Maul's mind, the best way to do that is through anger and aggression, because he's not going to expect that from the Jedi. Whilst Master Daki obviously has been taught to defend, so he believes that if they work to defend each other rather than attacking Vader, they'll be able to defeat him through that way. And it's a shame we don't see either of them techniques being used, because I do wonder which one would have actually worked. For their last stand with Vader, Daki sends Devin away to catch up with the others, help protect them. And between them both, they do give Vader a pretty good fight, but again, because they're out of sync, Vader just does not struggle with them at all. We get a scene with the rest of the heroes attempting to escape. As they come up to the rendezvous point, the Empire are already there, but time is ticking, so they need to find a way to either get past them or fight them off. And they come up with the idea of a distraction and basically volunteer Lutey to do it. But to my surprise, he actually does go ahead with it. So I don't know if you could count this towards a character arc where he's slowly becoming selfless. Probably not. He just wants to get to the rendezvous point. But I would genuinely like to see more of Lutey and what his actual like goals and aims are, because we kind of get the gist with all the other characters. I'll talk more about that later. Now we cut back to, unfortunately, the inevitable. When it came to this point, I was really hoping to Master Daki, who did not die, but unfortunately we all saw it coming. He did very well to last this long, and he goes out bravely with his last stand. But yes, Master Daki does unfortunately get defeated by Vader, and what hurts more is he was betrayed just before by Maul. Maul clearly sees that neither of them are going to beat Vader, so he backs away, force pushes Master Daki towards Vader and makes his way towards Devin. And it's heartbreaking, that last look that Master Daki gives to Maul. And at that point I think Daki knows he's done for. They'll give it his best shot. He lands a hit on Vader, and all to save time for the other characters. The music for this scene is absolutely incredible. I've been obsessed with it. It just sounds so daunting and fits the scene perfectly. Devin witnesses Daki's death, and then through that just like channels the dark side instantly. I mean, there's been build up throughout the show, but without that angel on her shoulder, she's fully going to be influenced by Maul and the dark side now, which unfortunately that was what that other poster spoiled, but we still don't fully know where it's going to go. There's another season confirmed, whether she'll stick to the dark side, she'll stick with Maul, maybe she'll run off with Riley and Two Boots, we don't know yet, but it's pretty exciting time for a character development at least. Maul slyly appears to appear like he's helping her with the Inquisitors, and saves her from Vader as well. Now she's fully ready to just go for Vader, but Maul stops her, promises to train her enough to the point where she can get her revenge on Vader. Now I'm intrigued to see how Maul works out as a teacher because he has no patience whatsoever. But maybe now that Devon is willing to be his apprentice, there's less for him to be frustrated about. Just before Maul and Devon escape Vader, we get another sacrifice, unfortunately, this time being Captain Lawson. It was a nice send-off. He kind of apologizes to Riley for not always being there, says he loves him before he goes off into the fog. Now, what really bugs me is that we don't see a body. If it wasn't for recent years with Star Wars, I wouldn't be fussed, I would have been sad that he's gone. But just one shot, maybe his body dropping just after he goes into the fog, just to confirm that he is dead, because I don't feel too much, to be honest, and purely for that reason, because I really liked his character. And obviously I'm sad for Riley, but with that massive problem of characters being resurrected and coming back all the time in Star Wars as of recently, you can't help but think he's not fully gone. So just one more shot would have helped. And then if they do plan on bringing him back, I will be disappointed, because I'm so sick of these fake outs. So the episode ends with them getting on Dryden Voss's ship. Maul says he'll stick to the deal. We see Riley obviously mourning his dad. We see Devon mourning Daki. Get a quick shot of Lutey as well, just of him potentially contemplating. Maybe he's thinking about his future. Does he stick with Maul? Does he stick with Crimson Dawn? I'm very intrigued to see where his character goes. I'm intrigued to see where all of them go, but he seems like the biggest mystery. Devon then says to Maul that she's ready. Get a quick glimpse of Maul's reaction, and then the episode ends there and then. So I mean, overall it's been a very solid show, and it's nice to know that a season 2 is on its way. I mean, there's so much potential now. Got Crimson Dawn involved. Don't know whether Maul is just going to run off with Devon somewhere. And the fact that we still have Riley and Two Boots makes things interesting, because I have no clue what's going to happen with them. Is Maul just going to keep them around for the sake of keeping Devon's trust? Are they going to go off and do their own thing? I suppose Two Boots was told to take Riley to his mum, but I don't see the show cutting from Maul and Devon to then Two Boots and Riley on a completely different path. But we'll see. I'm intrigued to see the training with Maul and Devon, because Maul clearly has no patience. But now that Devon's willing to learn, maybe somewhat work. We're going to see their struggles and things, obviously, but overall I wonder if it will work. He will truly gain an apprentice. Now, before I end the video, I do want to take a quick look back on the bingo card that I made going into the show. Now, I didn't do too well. I only got 5 out of 16, but I did nearly get a bingo. Not a full bingo, just a line. But things I successfully predicted with Vader. Lawson teaming up with Maul. I mean, to be fair, that was kind of inevitable. Devon turning to the dark side, which I know she's not fully there, but we got a glimpse of it. So, I mean, I'm taking what I can. Master Daki dying. I mean, everyone was expecting this. Rookcast dying. I don't feel like she's not popped up anywhere else. And I feel like they didn't really know what to do with her, so I mean, what a way to go though, at least. Now, the other things I put were pretty hopeful in the first place, but you never know. There's time for these to happen in season 2, but I think I'll do a fresh slate for that. I'm a bit gutted that we didn't see Purge Troopers. Realistically, they should have been there, especially with 2 Inquisitors on the hunt. But yeah, maybe next season, we'll see how well I do. But that's all from me this video. Let me know what your thoughts on the finale were. I was pretty impressed. Did it meet your expectations? What do you think will happen going into season 2? Feel free to check the description for links to my other socials. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.